A friend loses a loved one. A coworker loses a sibling, God forbid a child. Your rabbi loses his father. What do we say? How can we bring comfort? I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnes of Congregational Army, and I have some ideas. As many of you know, my father, Ken Kipnes, Papa, died at the beginning of August, and I am now in the middle of Shloshim, the 30 days from the funeral, during which we start to venture out into life, though not fully. I'm saying Kaddish, the prayer we say when we remember our dead, every day for the 11 months of the year of Yortzeit. And I am not shaving as a way of not worrying about how I look, so that I can focus on the multitude of feelings that rise up. But I interact with people, and I will all year, as do others after they've lost loved ones. And I know from talking to our young people who come for bar and bat mitzvah training with me to work on their divrei Torah, and with others, that we're often uncomfortable not knowing what to say, how to help. So here's my suggestion. When you see someone who's lost a loved one, you might say, I'm thinking about you. Or I was sad to hear about your blank father's death. Or I hope you know that I'm holding you in my heart. You might think that you shouldn't say something. Kids think that, teens think that all the time, because it might cause the person to well up with tears or even cry. But that's okay. There's nothing worse than having someone you love die and have no one be willing to talk about it. It's a reality. So let's name the elephant in the room, if you will, and move forward. And then you might do something that's the greatest gift. Ask that person if they'll tell you a little bit about their loved one. You might say, I really didn't know Papa. Can you tell me something about him? Or what was he like? Or what do you miss? Sometimes the person, the mourner, doesn't want to talk. But sometimes, and often they will. If you ask me that, I might tell you some stories about how he used to tease people in some of the funny situations, or about the fudge and the other things he baked, or about building a sukkah with him or more. It might make me well up with some sadness, but in truth, it will bring me warmth, knowing that someone else cares and wants to hear and keep my dad's memory alive. Look, we live in the cycle of life: birth, growth, love, struggle, health, illness, health, and on. And everyone who lives will die. But Judaism prescribes that we mark each death not just at the moment of the funeral, and not just once a year at the Yortzeit, the anniversary of death, but as a community we mark it by helping the mourners keep the memory alive. You can also ask, what's it like? What's it like to be without your dad? What's it like getting through the days? Any of those are okay. Just ask. It's never wrong, and even if the person doesn't want to ask now, you step back, say you're sorry if they get upset, and then ask again in a week. That's how we show the caring of a community. That's how we say, Hineni, here I am. Hinenu, here we are. Thank you for your support for me and for my family. I'll be thinking of all of you as I walk this path of mourning. By the way, Judaism does have some words that you can say in Hebrew. Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you among the other mourners of Zion and Israel. Some people find comfort with that, particularly if they grew up in a traditional home or place where those words were said. But others may not. So consider the words I offered. I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnes of Congregational Rabbi, and I thank you for the caring you share.